Yo, what is going on? This is your boy Thatguyface with Face the Music Media. We are back again for another episode of How I Synth. In this video, we got KV331 audio, Synthmaster 2. Let's get into it. Oh yeah. Oh my. Oh yeah. Face the music. So, Synthmaster 2 is a semi-modular synthesizer and effects plugin, and this thing has a lot of features that you can go through and, get some crazy deep sounds with. And I have to say, the quality is amazing. I can't even lie. This thing sounds great. So we'll jump into some of the features. I'm not going to cover every aspect of the plugin because it's way too much. I'd have to break it down into sections. And, if you guys want me to do that, leave a comment below. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. But anyway, before we jump off into that, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like the video if you like the content that we make here, and go ahead and share the video with your producer buddies and anybody else that's into synthesizers and things like that. Go ahead and share the video, man. It's free and it really helps the channel with the algorithm. So we really appreciate if you do that. Also, make sure you go to realloops.com to cop our very first preset pack called Sweet Fusion. That pack is full of 200 plus presets for a collection of Cherry Audio synths. So Cherry Audio synths have become some of my favorite synthesizers, and I think you should go check it out. That's realloops.com, REELLOOPS. Go check out the demo, come back and let us know what you think about it. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump off into the video, man. So one thing that I don't particularly like about this plugin is the interface. The interface is kind of all over the place. I'm not even gonna lie. You have your oscillator section here, and so you can go through, and this isn't even specifically the oscillator section, so you would click up here to go to the different sections here, and you can go through the different modulators, and then we have oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And also this synthesizer has 2 layers, so you can have one sound on layer 1 and then a whole different sound on layer 2 and go in between the two. You have your filter section here, filter 1 and filter 2, and then you have your ADSR section here, and you have your LFO, sequencer, key scaler here. You have your layer settings here. So for this layer, we have our voices, trigger. I'm not sure what stilling is. I have not read the manual yet, so I still have to dive in. I literally just got this plugin. Plugin Boutique had a sale, and basically it was like $25 for the cross grade. I have Synthmaster 1, so I was like, let me go ahead and get Synthmaster 2. I'll take that for $25. But anyway, one thing that's kind of weird about this plugin is the modulation. If you can see over here, the mod matrix is here. And it's just weird how they have it set up. So let's say if I modulate the frequency cutoff here, it will show up here. So whatever you click on, the mod matrix is going to show up here. So whenever you want to modulate something, you just click on it, right click on it and go to add modulation. And then you can add your modulation source here. So let's say if I do LFO1, there's LFO1 here. And so you can make your changes to LFO1 here. And if you go to LFO2, or 3, it'll automatically pop up here. See, LFO3. So, when you click on your controls, once you route it out, you click on the actual control and then it shows up over here. So it says source LFO1, and then it has via by way of, and you can choose some different sources there. And then the target. So the target is the frequency cutoff. So, you can go in and manually do it there, but it's just kind of weird. I can't even lie. The whole modulation setup is just so overly complicated. It's why? And so another thing that I'm kind of iffy about is the GUI. It's just really tricky. If you want to go to your effects, you click on the effects here. There's 2 tracks. It almost looks like a master track or a stereo bus. So you can do your layer 1 effects that go directly on to the synth, or you can do a send. So you can do effects buses here and send them out. So you can have layer 1, layer 2, and then each of them can have a bus. So it's just kind of weird how they have it set up. I don't know why they did it like that. And sometimes when you move around in this plugin, you might get stuck on certain screens where it's just not. See how I'm clicking about? It took forever for that to even pop up. And also too, I noticed when I changed changed the skin, it kept changing the different skins randomly. Like I would pull up the plugin again, it'd be a different skin. I'm just like, oh my God. But you know, those are minor things. These are all things that I can deal with because the plugin sounds amazing. So I'm not gonna beat them over the head for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna initialize the patch here. And so with the oscillators, if you right click, you have so many options for oscillators here. You can go to single cycle waveforms here, and it's so many different ones, like really nice sounding oscillators. So, you know, I'm going to keep it simple for the sake of the video, and I'm going to do what I usually do, and I'm going to go to saw2. Matter of fact, let's do saw down and see what that sounds like. Go to basic, saw down, and then I'm going to go to oscillator 2, and let's keep it as saw up. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do the detune for the phase sound. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that. I'm going to turn the volume down because these plugins are always extremely loud. So one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the waveform is very inconsistent. That lets me know that there's something going on in the background where there's some variation, so it can sound more realistic and not just static and plain. So now what we're going to do is detune oscillator 2. So I'm actually going to change that to saw 2. Okay, let's go ahead and detune that. Nice. That sounds really rich. Some of the synthesizers, you can't hear that phase as much. It sounds kind of flat, but this one sounds almost like a flanger. It's really nice. I like that. So let's go ahead and see what that sounds like through the filter here. I'm going to change this filter type to VA analog. Let's see what that sounds like. Beautiful. Loving that. That sounds so rich and full. So you already know I got a chord progression that I have in the background. Let's just go ahead and see what we can come up with this plugin. So I'm liking the sound of that detune phase. I'm going to keep that. Let's play the chord and see what it sounds like with the chord progression. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit more. Beautiful. I love that detune sound on this plugin specifically. I think this is probably the best one I've heard so far. So let's go ahead and shape the ADSR here and see what we can come up with. I am going to right click on the frequency of the filter, go to add modulation. I'm going to go to envelopes. Let's go to ADSR 2. And so let's do this. I'm going to turn up the decay and back off of the sustain. And let's leave the envelope amount all the way up. And one thing I do love about this plugin is it shows you the modulation, so you'll see it here. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Beautiful. I love that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an LFO and see what types of sounds we can get with the LFO. I'm going to go over here to add modulation, LFO. Let's go to LFO1 and let's do saw down to start off with. And we'll just kind of go through some different shapes and see what we like. So actually, let's just start off with sine wave and then we'll cycle through them and see what we have. First, let me sync that to the tempo and beautiful. So one thing I love about this plugin is the filter has the option to add some distortion before or after. So let's take a listen to that and see what that sounds like. I'm going to go with after filter and let's see what that sounds like. Perfect. So I already have the sound where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and hop off into the Analog Magic chain. If you guys watching my videos, you know I love the Analog Magic chain. And all that is a bunch of plugins that make the sound a little more analog. I know it sounds cliche, but so let's run through that really quick. I have the Tape Echoes by Softtube. I have Springs by Audio Thing, which I just got this one too. I've been waiting for this one to go on sale. Copped it. It was like $40 on Plugin Boutique. I love this plugin. This plugin is amazing. It's got so many features that you can do with these reverbs. So I love that. I have the Antrasol by D16, which is a flanger plugin, but it's doing some bit crushing the way I have it set up. So I'm loving that. I have the UAD Ampex. And so with the Ampex, it's basically just kind of dirtying up the sound and putting a little bit of wobble and a little bit of flutter. I didn't really too much fool around with the settings. I just chose the one that sounded kind of dark and then made it wobble a little bit. And then after that, we have the T-Rex 1176 plugin. And, you know, I just wanted a little bit of compression there, so not too much going on. Let's go ahead and activate the chain and listen to the before and after and see what it sounds like. So let me do this. And you just hear that spring pop on plop. I love it. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that really quick. You see how I opened up the plugin and it's in the effects page? I didn't even click on that. Anyway. Also, I forgot to mention that I have this CV-LFO here, and it's routed out to the pre-delay of the Springs plugin. So if you look at the pre-delay, it's kind of jumping around a little bit because I like to automate reverb and delays because it creates like this weird chorus sound. So I have that. And then I also have the delay offset of the Antrasol being modulated as well. So the CV-LFO is really dope. I love this module, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a listen again. Nice. And the crazy thing is every one of these plugins, dry wet, is at about like 2 to 3%. So I'm like barely doing anything with these plugins. But if you want to have it even more subtle, what you can do is take that and group that. And so you see how I have two groups now, right? A group within a group. So what I can do is come over here and I can have this be the, let's rename that, Analog Magic Chain, AMC. And then we'll have a new chain and we'll call that dry. So now I could even turn down the Analog Magic even more if that's too much. So I'm going to turn the Analog Magic down and then we'll slowly boost that. Let me pan those a little bit so you can kind of hear the separation. That's another thing I love about the audio effects rack in Ableton. You can get really detailed with these groups and stuff. So let's take a listen. Beautiful. Man, the analog magic chain, I promise you, trust me. Do the analog magic chain. I'm telling you right now, it will change everything. Anyway, man, that's the end of this video. Drop a comment below if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about Synthmaster 2. Do you use Synthmaster 2? What are some of the things that you like or dislike about this plugin? This plugin has an amazing sound. It's really high quality. It's rich. The only thing that I just don't like is, like I said before, the GUI. It's a little buggy. It's kind of all over the place. It's not easy to really grasp. So if you're new to synthesizers, man, I can remember back in the day when they had the green weird interface. People used to use that synth at the studio all the time, and I would see that interface and I'd be like, oh my goodness. It just made me not want to use a synth. Now that I'm a little more educated in synthesis and I've had a lot of experience with VST synthesis, now I can just jump in and get it going. But it's still, even with that experience, I still feel like, man, this is just kind of all over the place. But anyway, I love the sound. You know, it's got some really rich sound to it. So, and you can use it as an effects plugin as well. So, but anyway, man, this is Thatguyface, VST Music Media. If you have not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified every time we drop a video. So you don't want to miss out, man. We're covering all your favorite synthesizers, man. So stay tuned, stay locked in with your boy, and don't forget, go to realloops.com to pick up Sweet Fusion, our Cherry Audio preset pack that covers a collection of the Cherry Audio synths. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. Go to realloops.com. But anyway, man, this is Thatguyface, VST Music Media. We out of here. Peace.